service and honor them, and they're like, man, I would love to be honored. I would love to be respected. Like, I would love for people to say only good things about me. Discrepancy between those that have power and those that don't. In fact, James Fowler argues that all of us, as far as faith development, really faith development is the process of meaning making. How do we make meaning out of, not faith, but our lives? How do we begin to create a story, a master story, where we say, this makes sense to me. This is why things happen. So young people begin to ask questions like, think about this with the young people we serve. What is life about? Who's in charge? Who do I form alliances with? Who are life's protagonists and antagonists? Who has power? Who's in charge? Who do I form alliances with? All of this contributes to a young person saying, this is how I make meaning out of my life. And I would argue that that's one of the first things about faith development. Form an identity in young people. Let's just remember this. Social feedback always creates a perception of the young person's self. Social feedback always creates a perception of a young person's self. Identity is based on psychosocial reciprocity. The ability to say what's likable about me, what's good about me, what was affirmed about me. So, let's take a minute to just sort of stretch, and then Linda, you want to start? Do you want to?
Yeah, we're breaking a small group so we have a chance to talk.
Right. So do you want to?
I did give people.
Yeah, a little stretch break, and then perfect. 1, 2, 5. So yeah, I do volunteer.
So then you can pick to be
I'll just sit over here and fan.
You can pick to be with whoever you'd like to be with. But what the goal of this next time is to get together with folks from your organization and talk about who are the young people that you serve. So thinking about what Ron has just shared, who are the young people that you're seeing every day, and identifying some characteristics about who they are, and then what do those kids need? Again, thinking about some of the things that Ron has been sharing, what do those young people need? And then as you're thinking about that thing, are those things that you think they need? Or are those things that they really need? So what I guess I'm trying to do is try to get to maybe some broader needs. And that's all I'm going to say, and we'll come back and share about what those things are. But so the purpose is, who are we with? What do they need? Because I think the whole point is,
Can I clarify one thing, Linda?
To make sure we're giving them what we need.
Yeah.
They need.
Identify what you think they need, but then try to use their voice and say what they would say they need.
Correct. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come back and share that and talk about that.
How long you think, Linda? 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes. So, but I just want to make sure that everybody has folks to, does that exclude anybody?
Any male?
Males? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
High school's drop out.
Yeah, okay.
Uneducated. School.
So, okay.
Not school. Unschooled. Not school.
Not high school graduates. Okay. Well, let's say, I won't say that.
Not in high school.
Not in high school. Okay.
Rachel said rebellious, so we're going to take that as an authority.
Is that what you said, Rachel? Okay.
She might have just been being rebellious, though. So.
She might be feeling that way. Yeah.
Any other characteristics?
Adventurous, risk takers.
Oh, I like this. Risk takers.
Traumatized,
traumatized,
confused.
Independent.
Codependent.
Independent,
codependent. Let's see, what was that? Traumatized,
Confused.
confused. Thank you. And did you guys say codependent?
I said independent, but
Independent.
I guess that would work too.
We can codependent.
Yes.
Yeah. Why this is, anyway, good for me. Anything else you want to add?
Artistic.
Artistic.
They're on the outside. What's the word for that?
Marginalized.
Well, I know it's all I can think
Outliers.
is marginalized, and I don't know if I.
So
seems
on the
so
outside.
cliche.
And what else did somebody say? On the outside.
Marginalized, James said.
I was just trying to find a word.
That's a great list. So risk takers, traumatized, confused, independent, artistic, on the outside,
They're strong,
strong,
overcomers.
yes, survivors,
They're survivors.
overcomers. And I really love these words because we do have traumatized young people that we're serving, but I was just, again, it was so great. That's one of those aha moments again when Kelly said, we just don't serve kids that have been severely traumatized. And I think it's so easy to focus on that. I think for me, when I'm with kids that have experienced so much trauma and so much abuse, I just focus on that and I don't focus on. But they're also artistic and they're adventurous and they're rebellious and they're risk takers. And but this is also something that has to do with just young people in general. So so whether I come from supportive family environment or maybe not so supportive, but these are things that can incorporate all those things. So that's a great list, you guys. So what did you come up with as far as what those young people need?
Food.
Food? Oh,
And then the one thing for us
Yes.
that didn't get put on there
Yes.
really is we talked about a lot of almost all the young people we see are essentially parentless. Their
Yes,
parents
that's
do not
huge.
have the capacity for whatever reason.
here.
We've had four parents. We've seen over 100 different kids. And we've only had 4 times where parents who are actually looking for it.
In your organization, just 4?
So that's the specific.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that, just so you know, I think that's worth paying attention to because at New Horizons we served about 1,700 to 2,000 kids a year. And because as the clinical director I supervised, I did all the interactions with the community and I would get 1 or 2 parent phone calls a year for 2,000 kids.
Wow.
And so again, so Mary Lee and they're sheltered. These are kids that are, think about who's coming. Who's coming to that. Okay, so food.
So is this what we think they need or what they think they need?
So
What do
both.
they need?
Both.
Just throw them all
So
out.
I love that. So that's what I want to kind of have you thinking about. So both. So food, shelter,
Consistency.
consistency,
Structure.
structure,
Love.
support,
Money.
money,
Guidance.
guidance,
Relationships.
relationship,
Honesty and no BS.
honesty, transparency. Okay.
Education.
Is this what the kids are asking for?
Some.
Okay. And I wasn't specifically to you, Mary Lee, on education. I was just in, I was just thinking.
Socks.
Well, we're missing.
Socks.
Socks. So real practical. Kids are asking for socks?
So along with guidance,
Yes.
I don't know if mentoring is a subcategory of that,
Okay.
but that seems like something that they seek out. Like they
Okay.
don't necessarily ask for it, but they will
They
will
seek
go
out
and
mentoring?
look for it.
Hey,
Okay.
Sayla's not doing well. She's on the phone. She's probably
Rachel?
outside or something. I need to borrow somebody's car and get her.
Can I ask you what
Can you grab a
what your peers are looking for?
But sort of a friend to be there, someone to talk to.
A friend to be there, someone to talk to.
Work.
So, at New Horizons, we did a survey when we were going to start a late night outreach program specifically to young women that were involved in organized prostitution. And there's Aurora, it's a main highway that there's a lot of prostitution. And so we created a survey of all the different services that we would be able to provide. We had food, we had shelter, we had education, and socks and a whole bunch of things. And then we had someone to talk to on that. So we handed this survey out to all these different young women. And the number one answer was someone to talk to. A friend. And I was so surprised by that. So I think this is critical. And the reason, too, why I want to point that out is because I know for me, I see these young people, and all who I am as a mother and wanting to take care of them comes in. What do I think they need? I think they need, of course, they need to be in shelter. They need food. They need so much. And for me, it's been transforming to say, you know what? It's really significant just to have somebody to talk to. This is huge. This is so huge. And I guess I want to say that as an encouragement because sometimes we don't realize how important this is. This is really important, especially if you're somebody, we've talked about when Ron was talking about trauma, you just feel like your life is crazy and these crazy things are happening to you and you think it's your fault. And for somebody to listen to you and talk to you, and especially if, let's say you've been sexually abused, by a parent, or you're in an unsafe place, for someone to look at you and go, it's not your fault that that happened. You're not crazy. Oh my gosh, of course you're not staying there. That's nuts. It's not a safe place for you to be. That is huge. So I would say someone to talk to is huge.
But the thing that might tie with that too is that they need to feel valued, and if they have someone to talk to who really hears them, then they feel maybe valued.
And these are some of the things I was trying to get to a little bit because I think these shelter and food, those are my initial responses. And I'm not saying, and socks specifically. I know our kids ask for socks too at New Horizons, and underwear. This young woman, we were giving clothing donations, and there were some used bras, and they just didn't look very good. And the young woman that was helping me sort out clothing says, "Oh my gosh, Linda," she says, "don't give those away. Bras are so hard to find, and even though they don't look very good, it's just it was one of those things that I just didn't think about." But I think this sense of being valued, and when Ron was talking about again who these young people are, I mean, I want to feel valued. I want to feel like I have some sort of purpose, and I just think this is key for all of us. So it doesn't matter. Where's Kelly? She had to go. It doesn't matter if you're a young person that's had a really stable family situation. It doesn't matter if you've been a young person that experienced tremendous abuse. It doesn't matter where we come from, if we're a man or a woman, or ethnicity. I think we all want to feel valued. This is one of those core needs. I want to feel like I have some importance and that you notice me. So, Sarah, what do you think the kids, young people are asking for or need at the core, based on being parentless, not in high school, traumatized, being marginalized, artistic, risk takers? What do you think they need?
I think it's the consistency in relationships.
Okay.
Because they, one of the things that they say to me all the time is, "You're not going to stick around.
Right.
You
Yes.
are going to leave me. Everybody
Yes.
leaves."
Yes. 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 Yes.
So they want relationships, but they want relationships that last.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
We have that.
Oh, do it? Oh, thank you. Yes.
We have it twice now.
Thank you.
Well, it could be two different things. That might be consistency in relationship, and that's consistency like boundaries, like
Okay.
guidelines, like expectations.
And Sarah, I had that same experience too when I first started New Horizons. I had a young person that said, "So, yeah, how long are you going to be around?"
They asked that when we moved to this building from Badger Hall.
No, they didn't ask.
Well, they were really upset that we moved. Really upset, even though this is a way cooler space.
So
They just
again-
didn't like it at all that we moved.
No, go ahead. No, no,
But,
it's
but I said,
Yeah.
no, we signed a 10-year lease. And then they did the math in their head, figured out how old they'd be in 10 years, and said, oh, okay, that's long enough.
And I want to pay attention to those too. I'm just checking how much time we have, because these are things that you've heard this is what you've heard from a young person. And what I found was, something I had to ask myself. Am I asking the young people, what do they want? What are you looking for? And I know, again, and I'm saying that, I'm not saying that they don't need shelter, and I'm not saying that they don't need food. But oftentimes I think we wonder why young people don't come to shelter that are on the streets. Or, and because I think some of the things that they're looking for are not necessarily a roof over their head. And I would argue that just because you have shelter, is there someone there that you can talk to? Because that's what they're really looking for.
Right.
Are you going to see the same persons over again? And one of the things that I think is a primary need, especially if you have experienced trauma, is safety.
Yeah.
And I think kids are looking for a safe place. And so sometimes shelter doesn't seem like a safe place. Even though for me, I just think you need to be off the street. But for them, if they have control over their surroundings, it might feel safer. Because if you've been in a bed and you've been sexually abused, or if you've been in a place where you can't control having the door locked, that might not seem very safe. And so I think safety is really a key thing. And again, I think the reason why I'm focusing on that is when you think about programming, I think these are outward things that we see.
Right, right.
But the
Some
bottom
things are
line
superficial.
is what you're providing is safety.
Yeah.
And looking at that. Go ahead, Marilyn.
I was just gonna say, the food and shelter and socks and underwear, they're things that they need,
Right.
but they're superficial, because what they really need is what's in the house.
Which are, let's talk about those.
People, relationships.
Relations and
Someone to talk to, valued, feeling
Right.
valued, all of those kind
Right.
of things that you can't ask the community necessarily for donations.
right.
Could someone donate? I mean, we do, obviously we do ask them, and we are kind of nerd, that's right.
They're looking for a home. Well, I mean, why do young people stay? So why do they connect with all the kids that they know? Why do kids form gangs?
Yeah.
What are they looking for? They're looking for family.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're parentless, you're looking for family. So I think, and so I guess, so what does that look like for what we're providing for young people? Family and home. These are really intangible. And I think that's why it's easy, not easy again, because these are essential things. But I think that's what it's so, let's see, it's easy to get to. And that's what funders are also wanting people. It's like, well, you just need to get the kids a place to stay, and you need to do that. Yes, but the bottom line is we're creating home at the shelter. That's why kids are going to come. And they're going to come because they feel valued. And they're going to go because they need to be loved. which is the bottom line again. And I guess I'm saying this too as a way to encourage you that really each one of us in here is able to provide a sense of home and love. We're able to talk to somebody. So that's it. All of us can talk to somebody. All of us can be a friend of somebody. And
Well, and Linda, can I ask you a question?
yes, go ahead.
I think one of the things as we think about, tomorrow we're going to talk more about continuum of care and what that looks
Address these
like.
things.
But I think one of the things that Linda discovered, and she made, I know you made a list over here, so I'd love to hear more of them,
Yeah, and
is that Linda created a job program called Street Bean Espresso, and all of a sudden she felt like all of these sort of secondary needs were the things that people love to pay
Right.
attention to, but the bedrock for the cafe was the primary needs that you couldn't sell to a funder, but if they weren't embedded in whatever service delivery strategy you had,
Right.
it didn't. So anyway, I just thought.
No, and I appreciate that. So the things that I had on my list, again, were somebody to listen to, validation, truth, which is I think this honesty, transparency, healing, safety, trustworthy relationships, a nurturing and caring community, belonging, family, a place to call home, identity and purpose, empowerment. Because we talked again, these are young people that, for a lot of them, if they're parentless or they've been on the street, they're strong. They've been independent and self-sufficient, and they just need to be empowered to continue to do that in ways that support them. They need a platform to achieve their creative potential, and I believe, they need love, they need peace, they need joy. And so we're kind of going to go, so this part is also, I believe, really critical. This sense of, again, and this has been really good for me because I keep looking at these kids as, oh my gosh, there's these poor kids, they have so much going on, they've been so abused and traumatized, which they have been, but they're also strong overcomers, and they're artistic, and they're adventurous. And they want to have a place where they can be creative, and where they can get a sense of identity and purpose. And so we're going to talk, well, actually tomorrow we'll talk about a continuum of care, but we'll do a lot of that on Thursday, is how do we really empower our young people to, I think, this identity need and this purpose need.
There's something that I think is
Yeah,
really
Mark.
important is
Yeah.
acceptance. And
Yes.
in that, I mean, you might have gone through hell. Well, okay, fine.
Right.
Who cares? I mean, I don't mean it that way, but I
Right.
mean, it's,
Yes.
you're still you.
Yes,
You're not- it doesn't take away from you.
Right.
Exactly, and
Yes.
just acceptance of all the crap you've gone through, or you haven't gone through crap. It doesn't. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You're still. And from my point of view, the person's still
Well, that's
made in
kind of
God's
a
image.
validation point, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and looking at this acceptance, so food, yes, the kids need food. What if how you get your food is somebody just throws it at you and says, like,
Soap, soup, and salvation.
but, here, take this, la 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 la. They need to eat, but would that change, James, how maybe kids would respond to that food?
Yeah, so, so what we've talked about
yes,
at Joel's
talk about
place
that.
is our three foundations are safety first,
Yep.
and then fun, and then development.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
have to create a safe place first and foremost, and then we bring them in because it's fun in every aspect. And then when we develop trust with them
Yeah.
through the fun and through the safety, then we can help usher them into new places. So
I love
we
that.
we offer food as a place of safety,
I
and
love that.
then later on we teach them how to cook as a way of development. And so
Which is
it's
fabulous. And empowerment, because they get to be a part of it.
Mhm.
And at the shelter, what does that look like, do you guys think, as far as creating that sense of safety and home and belonging? Because you guys aren't just providing a place to stay, right? You guys are you're providing so much more than that.
Well, it looks a little different probably, but it does mean like just sitting up sometimes with somebody at 3 in the morning and just
Right.
really listening to them
Yeah.
when they come in upset about something.
Yeah.
So, you just have to be available.
Yeah.
when the opportunity arises.
And we can yak about this when we're with your staff, whatever time, 3 in the morning or whenever we're getting together with them. It gets later every time I think about it. I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
That'll be great, but I think that idea of understanding triage and how to do that in an environment where you don't know what's outside the door, you don't actually even get to experience it until it steps inside your door,
That's right.
is a real challenge that I want us to pay attention to.
And we're all in one room, essentially.
Right.
Past intake location, everybody's in one.
And then I want Georgia and, I'm sorry, I forgot, and Deanna. But yeah, how does this impact where you guys are working and those primary needs? What do you think?
On
Just what are your reflections? Just in your context.
you want to go in?
What do you mean exactly?
Well, so does this resonate with you?
Yes.
How have you seen it played out?
I see a lot of the kids that tell me, they are not connected with family for
Right.
whatever reason. We do a lot of networking
Okay,
between the agencies.
right. And why do you think that's so key?
Because we can't do it ourselves.
Which will get you the bar.
We serve a lot of, sometimes the same population.
Yes.
And it may not be those particular kids, but some of their family members.
Yes. I love that.
Wouldn't networking for them at the same time be empowering to them too? Because you're opening them up to resources that they may not have known
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
Yes. So I love that. Those are great words to end on. We can't do it ourselves, networking. We need each other.
Yeah.
So we need each other,
We do.
and we need the young people. They need us. We all need each other. We're all connected. We all need somebody to hear us and to validate us and to empower us to be who God has created us to
So if you're going to end, then I need to chime in.
be. Okay, Mike, chime in.
So
Benedict us.
what I see there is, I mean, the very first thing that I picked up when people started talking was
Yes,
parentless,
yes,
okay? And everything that's written down on this side of the board,
yep,
in my mind, is a responsibility of a parent, okay? But nobody said they need parents, okay? My opinion is, and you can ask my wife, because before we had children, we became parents. Is that not true? They need somebody, and my opinion, okay? We decided as young people that we were going to parent people. And that became the attitude of our, not just us individually, but of our marriage. Okay? And everything that we've done since then has been born out of that. Okay? What I think needs to be brought to the table is that attitude.
the attitude of parenting, which
Yes.
is all about love. It's
And
all about empowering. It's about accountability. It's about boundaries.
Yeah.
It's creating safety. It's
Yeah.
because it's nurturing. It's caring. Thank you. Attitude of
My
parenting.
2 cents.
Okay, and I'm going to hand it over to James, or we can be done. I guess we're
I
going to be
think-
back here.